if anyone who hasn't seen seasons 1 and 2 of Scissor Seven were watching this, I'm still workshopping this. They probably have already left the video, which I was supposed to spend the beginning of trying to convince people who've never seen Scissor Seven to watch Scissor Seven, even if they never come back here to watch my season 3 reactions. But it's genuinely a great series if you've stuck around. Maybe I'll move this to the front. For all the people who accidentally click on this who never heard of Scissor Seven before, or who just have never seen it, please go watch it. It's on Netflix. Each episode's like maybe 13 seconds long, minutes long, and there's only about 24 episodes, 10 in the first season, then a 4-episode OVA, and then a 10-episode second season, and it's absolutely worth it. You can binge watch it, English dub, the original Mandarin dub, with English subtitles. I don't really care. Obviously, I'm gonna have to watch the English subbed version with the Mandarin dub here. They're both are pretty good. Either way, it's a good show, and it's easy to binge watch. It kind of gives me Mob Psycho vibes, and as a fan of Mob Psycho myself, I think anybody else would absolutely enjoy it. And once again, if you've never even seen Scissor Seven, I think you'll enjoy it. Even if you don't enjoy it very much, again, short series, episodes are short, and it won't be wasting too much time if you don't end up liking it. As you can see, things are a bit different. I'm at a different angle. The camera quality has gotten noticeably worse, and that's because I'm trying something a bit different here. It might look scuffed. There's like a little bit of light over here. This is so confusing because it's flipped on the monitor I'm looking at. However, I thought I'd try something a little bit different to maybe streamline this whole reaction process. I'm not trying to like complain. This is definitely first world problems. Like, oh, I have to set up my camera and then transfer the files onto my computer and then sync up audio and video. But truly, as a student, it does take up time, especially when you consider these hour-long reaction videos will take about an hour to completely render out. It gets time consuming, especially as I said, I'm a student. Maybe that'll be lessened because my laptop is 3 years old at this point, which isn't terrible. It's still a decent laptop, still functions fine, but it's something. Won't get too deep into it. I'm gonna be starting reactions to season 3, episodes 1 to however many I can fit, because as of course they're shorter, so I should probably be able to do 4 or something before I get to like the upper limits of what I want to do per episode, which being like an hour long. But at the same time, I might not have time for that, and then either way, starting with after episode 5 is out. I don't have English subtitle files for that, and they're gonna be going on a hiatus until April anyway, since episode 5 came out, so it'll be a little bit before the series finishes properly, or at least this season. Who knows if season 4 is coming? I sure hope it does. But for now, I'll be reacting to few of the beginning episodes of season 3. You'll know for sure based on the title and thumbnail. But with that all being said, let's just get into this because I'm very excited to start season 3. The actual reaction will be available in the description below, either Breach TV or BitChute or both. I'm not sure, but go watch the reaction there and then come back for the discussions. All right, that was episode 1. Honestly, not the greatest start in my opinion. IMO, it was kind of a meh start. It seemed more like an extended last episode of a season type thing. Like everything's over, and now we're going back to our regular lives. And now, but then next season something crazy is gonna happen, which is what it felt like, because some of the scenes, like the scene at the end with Seven walking past the dude, was from season 2. I doubt they really reanimated it. It's fine, but it felt more like an extent, like they took the ending of season 2 episode 10 and they expanded on it to be a full-length episode, and not too much is really added, I don't think. If I seemed kind of like not discussing things very much, or like talking outside of like observations of what's happening, that's because there really wasn't much to talk about. It was just things that we kind of knew already. So although it did show some interesting things. Like I think we got a shot of Xuanwu, we got some looks at some more assassins, like the lady at the beginning. Well, we're setting up some things to be explained later in the season, which is always great. It's something that I like to see, what I want to see. But the problem is, again, is there wasn't enough of it. That wasn't the whole episode. Most of the episode was just, maybe it's because like we need a foundation before we can build up on top of it to eventually get to the huge climax. But it felt like you could cut out so much from this episode and have pretty much nothing be taken away from it. Like, you probably could have found a way to have the whole I'm leaving for Xuanwu now so I can take the leader's head thing at the midway point maybe of the episode, and then add some more after that. I'm not really sure. Again, I'm not part of any kind of show or animation type thing, so I don't know how everything works. I watched Shirobako, but that was a while ago, and I've undoubtedly forgotten things, so I can't really say for sure. But either way, because it's still pretty short, like I don't really mind that much. So with that pretty much being everything I wanted to say so far, I think actually there are a few things I am excited about that I hope we'll see in the next few episodes. It's because he's leaving for Xuanwu now, but in the trailers he was on the way to Xuanwu with Dabo, which is the chicken friend, obviously. I wonder how he's going to make a recovery, or when he's going to be taken back into the story, because obviously Seven at the start of episode 2 should be going to Xuanwu now. I don't know. I guess we'll just have to see. We're going to start episode 2 in a little bit, so we'll just quickly... I definitely enjoyed that episode more because of the animation. Obviously, the animation in the quote fight, it was more of just like a fun little, like, I guess you couldn't, I don't know, a fun little great animation moment. The comedy was also really good. There was more of it, but also because this flashback, while I feel like was more drawn out than it really needed to be, as much as I did enjoy it, it seemed like something that would have happened in an OVA. Like, it reminds me of the kind of stories that were told during the 4 OVAs that happened between Season 1 and Season 2. So I did enjoy it some more, and it did have some more, like, relevance to the plot of this current season. Personally, I kind of feel like it's still... It wasn't as good as it could be. It still felt like more of a time waster. It's just a bit. Not hugely upset about it, obviously, because I still love this series. But if you ask me, if you cut out some portions of the first episode and the second episode, you could have merged them together and made like one 20-minute long episode, where the first half is everything that leads up to Seven leaving, and the second half is this flashback, and then Dabo heading out with Xiaofei to go and find Seven, because this ended up being this first episode was 15 minutes. This was about 16 minutes, so a little over a half an hour was spent on this, when I feel like you could have cut out a pretty decent amount of it and not much of value would have been lost. I can't tell you why this decision was made. In the grand scheme of things, I don't think it'll really hurt, like, the pacing, I guess, of future episodes, but I think it's something I felt like worth mentioning. One thing I am definitely curious about, what exactly the Miracle Doctor's face is, alongside with what his, like, true origin is. But I'm also curious about, like, what he's thinking, because he's never spoken, or we've never heard his thoughts before in the series. So I have to wonder what his thoughts are, and maybe it's just because he can wring money out of Dabo and Seven, but based on how they were interacting, like how he was so, like, desperately trying to, well, maybe not desperately, but how he was so, like, trying to stop them from seeing his face and getting the diamond, I'm surprised he decided for the next 2 years to keep working and being fine with them. I mean, that's something we'll have to find out as the series goes on, as we learn more about the Miracle Doctor. But what I'm curious about also is Da Chen. Please correct me if I'm getting it wrong. I'll probably look this up in the wiki. at some point after this recording ends, but like, where did he go, I wonder, because he wasn't in the infirmary with the miracle doctor with Dabo and Xiaofei when they woke up. Yeah, no, they definitely weren't, because I would have noticed. Let me... no, I'll worry about it later. I was going to add a display capture so I could actually show what it looks like without having to actually switch cameras. But maybe I can do that. Let's go back. Yeah, right there. So Dabo and Xiaofei were alone in the infirmary with the miracle doctor. So Dao Chen clearly woke up earlier, and he's off somewhere, but where it is specifically, we don't currently know. So I'm sure we'll find out eventually. But those are kind of like the biggest concerns I have regarding the future of the series, is who the miracle doctor is, what that diamond is. I'm still like honed in on the fact that that's probably like important and will be important later on, because what other reason do you have to like put so much importance, seemingly so much importance on it, if not for it to be important later on? Maybe it won't be. Maybe that's just like a thing that happened to be there, and that's the motivation for Dabo in this flashback. But who knows? And then obviously I need to know where Da Chen is. And then of course everything going on with Seven, Xiang Fang, something like that, whatever his name is, Plum Blossom 13's master. I think the name on his shirt was his name, maybe. I also want to see more of them and what's going on with them. I want to see more of 11 as well. I believe that's 11. The girl that was blowing the bubbles in Dao Chen's face in the ED. I want to see more of her. She seems interesting. Seems like they're hinting at a possible relationship between them, which is interesting. I'm curious as to where that's going to go. But then, new girl, red hair, that we saw in the beginning of season 1, and then also is playing the instrument in the opening. She's the one with all those flowers. I'm sure that's a specific type of flower that I'm not like really aware of, but so far those are the biggest mysteries. So I'm incredibly excited to keep going with the series. Unfortunately, I can't do any more today. Sticking to 2 episodes per video like usual, but we'll see. I mean, it might be good to like take my time with it. Either way, I'll probably catch up to where it is right now before their whole hiatus ends, because that's in April and we're only in March right now. Technically February when I'm recording this, but guess it happens. So if you enjoyed this video, make sure to hit the like button. Subscribe if you want to see subscribe to see more of these Scissor 7 reactions. Hit the notifications so you don't miss any uploads, and make sure to leave a comment about how you feel about this whole setup. Obviously, I think this will be a lot less popular than my other reactions, like Haikyuu and Gintama. However, if you do have anything to say, please feel free to. And that's pretty much it. So, thank you all for watching. Peace.